So in this example, the base of each of the powers is a negative number. So we have negative 3.2 to the power of 2, and we have a negative 6.5 to the power of 3. We're going to look at what happens when the base is negative. Okay, so I want you to try this actually before we do that question. Let's do negative 2 to the power of 2, negative 2 to the power of 3, 5, and 4. Positive 4. What about negative 2 to the power of 4? Is it going to be a negative or a positive answer? This one's also going to be a positive. What about negative 2 to the power of 3? Negative, good. And negative 2 to the power of 5 is, yep. Pardon? Negative 32. What do you notice about the positive answers in comparison to the negative answers? Yep. Right. The exponents here are both even, and the exponents here are both odd. Okay, think about it. If your base is negative, it means you're multiplying a negative times a negative, an even number of times. Anytime you have an even number of negatives, so let's do groups of 2, what happens when you have 2 negatives put together? Another 2 negatives. Any even number of negatives will result in a positive, right? If the exponent's an odd number, it means you're multiplying it by itself an odd number of times. So give me an example of an odd number. 3, okay? Negative and negative is a positive. Then we have a positive with a negative, which is equal to a negative. Any odd number as the exponent will result in a negative answer. This only works if the base is negative. Okay, so we can summarize. When the base of a power is negative, if the exponent's an even number, the result is going to be a positive answer. If the exponent's an odd number, the result will be a negative answer. Okay, so to simplify this expression, well, let's look at the first power. We have negative 3.2 to the power of 2. The result will be positive or negative? Good. What comes next? Well, first of all, what's 3.2 to the power of 2? What's negative 3.2 to the power of 2? 10.24. Now, what do I do next? Do I multiply negative 2 times negative 6.5, or do I simplify negative 6.5 to the power of 3? Think of BEDMAS. Which part comes first? This needs to come first. Okay, so I'm going to keep negative 2, and then whatever my answer is, then I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. So we have a negative base and an odd exponent. What will the result be? Negative. Good. Negative 274.625. Now what do I do? What comes next? Do I have to subtract 2 first, or do I need to multiply? Right. Negative 2 times negative 274.65. What's a negative times a negative? Positive, and what is it? 549.25. 559.49 is your final answer. Because we had to multiply negative 2 times all of this, which is a negative, when we multiply a negative by a negative, it becomes positive. The result of that was positive. We know we have to simplify what's in the bracket, so let's rewrite what's in the bracket with a common denominator. Negative 21 over 12 minus 10 over 12, all to the power of 2. This is one way we can solve this, right? Find the common denominators and turn the first fraction into improper. What is the brackets simplified? So what is negative 21 over 12 minus 10 over 12? What does that become? Yep. Good. Negative 31 over 12. All of that to the power of 2. Okay. We know that negative 31 over 12 to the power of 2 is negative 31 over 12 times negative 31 over 12, which results in a positive 961 over 144. You turn the mixed number into improper, what does it become? Good, negative 8 over 3. And now what do we have to do because we're adding fractions? Common denominator is 144. What did you multiply 3 by to get 144? 3 times what is 144? 48, good. So I need to multiply this by 48. And what is negative 8 times 48? Negative 384. Did you forget the negative sign? What is, now we can add the numerators. What's negative 384 plus 961? Good. 577 over 144. Turn this into a mixed number. What's the final answer? Excellent.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.